Did my phone die? Like, what is going on? My phone is plugged in. What is this? This whole, like, now everything's just falling apart, for real. Jesus. Well, hopefully you guys come back on, because it'd be fun to, like, talk to you. Hey, I don't know what the hell happened. It just literally, like, stopped working. It just, like, everything went black. So, I don't know what the deal is. I'm like, really? I'm almost done. And then it just, I thought my phone died. Because I have it plugged in. It was dying before it just, like, everything went black. Like, it just stopped everything. And I'm like, there's no limit on a live. I don't understand. As far as I know, there's no limit on live. But I thought my phone died. It just, like, completely stopped working. I'm just talking, and then it was just like, bam, black. And I'm like, what the hell is going on? But I hate that, because I hate having... That's weird. I didn't even say anything bad. Like, what's that about? I don't know. I was talking about concealer, and then it just went boom, and that was it. Who knows what it actually was. Yeah, and then, like, I see 0 people here now, so I don't even know, like, if there is anybody here. I see comments, like, when you guys comment, but it doesn't say that anybody's showing up. So I don't know. I'm going to go and finish this anyway. And if you comment, I could see, oh, I see there's 1 person now, so why the heck did that happen? I know it happened to me, like, 1 time before, too. It just, like, completely just stopped working. I'm like, oh, great, I talk too much, YouTube? Fine. How could some people go on for, like, 1,000,000 hours then? What's that about? I'm not good enough to go for, like, 6 hours doing my makeup? Fine. Whatever. Anyhow. Alright. I think the eyes look pretty okay. I do think I need a 3rd light over on this side. I think that would really help. Because now this right eye looks really good. And then the left eye looks a little... I'm so particular. I'm so particular, it could be annoying. But I don't like to be annoying. Yeah, I think... And I mean, maybe because of the time, like, I'm not sure. But it sucks because then I have to, like, upload 2 videos, so. But it's whatever. I mean, mainly, thing is, you can fast forward, like, past the stuff that you don't want to get the look. Because I know that I do makeup, but I also like to come and, like, bullshit, so anybody who's, like, for real here for the makeup, fast forward to the parts that you want. Or join in on the live and bullshit. Alright, so I did the under eye. I did do a tiny bit of black on the top. I don't like doing my mascara, or up my forehead before I do my mascara, just because I go like this and then it puts lines there that don't belong there. So I'm going to do my mascara now. Definitely got to put nude in my title because I'll get more hits that way. When I do like nude, or I did the naked whatever palette, stuff like that. I definitely have to do a full-on drag look. I get a lot of like hits on like drag looks and stuff, which I'm not mad about, because like I said, I do things my own way and it just kind of goes that way. But people like trying to say that I'm like not a woman, that just kind of, it's upsetting. Like, for real, like, I'm not going to show you my C-section scars, buddy, so. I don't know. I've always had masculine features since I was a kid. And I think, you know, kind of, by the time I get done talking about things, most of the time on here when we're talking about stuff, it all ends up tying in where I think that might be why I kind of was like shunned and stuff by like the girl in school, even after. Like, people are like, you're so classy, whatever. Like, I'm not like super girly. Like, I mean, for real, like, not a lot of chicks are gonna be talking about like video games and whatever. Like, some do now, but I'm just saying, you know, always being a little different. I think maybe I was just jealous. Maybe my friends were just jealous. Like, I don't even know. My daughter and I would always like joke around like that. We would joke around about stuff like that. You know? It's just mean to be that way. Like, I'll accept anybody. It's okay. Alright. Do the forehead. Stop talking about dumb bitches. If I did have an acting role to play a girl like that, thank you. That's what I was saying before. Like, I like being funny, and yeah, like, I don't know. Humor comes from everything, and humor comes, actual like comedy and humor, it comes from real life situations and the ability to actually laugh when you want to cry. And I really, really feel that diminishing that from society is very, very detrimental. I've seen some posts by some comedians who weren't very funny to begin with, but on the same hand, in those circles, and obviously has lots of money. And that was the whole thing about comedy. Nobody's immune to being made fun of. Like, I miss the whole, like, you go to a comedy show and you show up and you do whatever, and or even just watching one, you know, this guy's there doing whatever, being made fun of. Like, it's funny. I'm trying. I mean, it's funny. It's funny to get made fun. Like, when you're just, like, hanging out and you get, like, roasted by people. Like, life is, life is serious, okay? It is. There's a lot, for real. Trust me. Trust me. I am going through so much serious fucking shit right now. Like, every single serious thing in my life. Hi! Can be happening right now. But, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to take the time to laugh. I will take the time to laugh. I will take the time to cry if I need to. But, like, crying all... That is true. That definitely is true. Because you can... I was watching a mutual on Twitter. I'm just gonna like move on with what I'll try and list like all the products that I use. I'm just gonna like move on while I talk. Mutual on Twitter had shared something. Exactly, absolutely. They shared something, and it was, you know, kind of in reference to George Carlin. And speaking of, you know, the 80s and 90s, when we would go to the video store, my dad mostly would pick out whatever the fuck he wanted to watch. So 99% of the time, it was either a war movie, which, I mean, we were small kids. I have seen, you know, I've seen them all. People were like, oh, your kids like horror movies, and they're, you know, 11 and 8, and I'm like, dude, I was forced to watch war movies with body parts flying off since I was born. Like, what's the fucking difference, really? Like, one's fantasy, except, hey! Except, my daughter's super into, like, Annabelle and stuff like that, so, like, that's real. But, you know, and then there was George Carlin. Oh, and Richard Pryor. So, mostly George. So, you know, when my dad would rent a movie, and then it wasn't you could go into your room and do whatever you wanted. It was, no, I rented this movie. You're going to watch it. Like, that's it. This is our family day. Which is, you know, my family life was like fucked up. But on the same hand, I am glad for that. That little tidbit. Just, you know, you sit there. You didn't have a phone. Maybe you had a book, you know, and then you're just sitting there with a book or something, or coloring books. Have a coloring book, and you're just coloring away. Or I would draw a lot. I would draw, but you're always listening, so I would listen too. So yeah, a lot of that set in. And I think that's what kind of set me apart too from a lot of friends growing up, was that, you know, their parents were just like, oh, you're a girl and you gotta be taken care of and you're so precious and this and that. And there's my dad putting on fucking war movies and George Carlin and stuff like my dad never taught me, like, it was a dad relationship, but it was always like I was the firstborn, so he kind of still wished I was a son type of shit. So, yeah. It's all good. I don't talk to him now. But it's okay. A lot of people are like, oh, your family life was shitty. I'm so sad for you. And I'm like, dude, it's alright. Because, you know what, life happens and things happen and people do what they want to do. Okay, good. You know, and it's just, I hate the word toxic. I think it's been completely overused, that word, toxic. It's been completely overused, and it's run into the ground. Which, oh, that was the George Carlin thing that, and then somebody shared a clip about the euphemisms and how, you know, every generation there's always a euphemism to make a specific situation that, like, that situation never changed. Like, the people didn't change, the feelings didn't change, the way that people react. That's what we want to control. So therefore, we go ahead and those in power. Yes, and I hate that. Oh, I gotta. Yeah, dad. Some dads, like, totally toxic has become toxic. Yeah. Some dads do that. They, like, force that shit down. They're like, fuck it, you're gonna just, like, this is what I want. Oh, I lost my place now. But you guys got crazy right there, so that was fun. Toxic is being toxic. The narratives, yes. So that's the thing where, and then language, I love language. Like, I'm so sad. Like, I'm so sad about it, and I'm like, fuckers, you yay, like, you fuckers are bastardizing language. Because there's only so, I don't know, Daniel, when I came back on, I was like, it stopped working. Like, everything just went black, and I thought my phone died, but it didn't. So, but yeah, no, like, what else do we have now? Like, people, and then I don't even use, like, terminology, because, like, I almost used a particular term, and I'm like, ew. Like, I stopped myself. I'm just going to not speak in the particular words that, you know, other people use, and just speak on my own and just say that, you know, people who think they can control everybody else change things to make it seem better than it actually is. It's basically grade school bullshit. And yeah, it really is. Especially, you know, my son is in 2nd grade, okay? There were too many COVID cases, so they had not had in school, like, they weren't in school this week. So I'm back to hearing his classes. And I know there are some schools that are, like, way woke, and, like, people are like, you know, we need to do something about this, blah blah blah, and that sucks. Like, I don't think ours is bad. I don't think it's, like, super woke or anything, like, besides, like, the masking and stuff like that, and then, like, testing for sports and whatever. But I really like listening in on his 2nd grade schooling. I'm like, this feels like just explaining real life to people online. Like, this is where a panda comes from. This is how, like, it's so funny. And then it's like, all right, I'm gonna admit it. I'm gonna admit it that I always felt like I was like, people can be saved, you know, man. Like, most people are good. People can be saved, and like, we can totally do this and work together. I don't know. This is the thing. I don't have a particular area that I'm vocal in. I'm in a lot of different areas, but those lot of different areas encompass a lot of different ways of people and lives. So, anyway, I always felt like, you know, if you just give, you know, the lead a horse to water type of thing, you know, teach a man to fish, stuff like that. But I've realized just there are more people than I know. And Daniel, I couldn't see the rest of yours because then it disappeared. I know, and it sucks. Though, like, I'll never be the bad person to be like, you know, guess what, fuck you. But on the same hand, I mean, I can say, like, fuck you because I gotta do, like, my own shit, you know? And that I think is the big problem now. Especially with just the way that business is working now. I think everybody is very spread thin as far as just like job wise or anything. Like, if you're not working, you know, it's different, but working, and especially working with the public, it's very hard. Or even working in, you know, I know a lot of people, and I have family that work in like factories and stuff, and then they're like, well, you know, we're going to implement mandatory testing and this and that, and I'm just like, I don't like agree with that. Like, that I don't feel like it's anybody's business. And I had, you know, someone close to me today, you know, I will not say who it was, because I want to keep their identity private, but, you know, and they're like, I tested positive, you guys should get tested too, and I'm like, we'll be okay. I don't want to be talking about this, but it sucks that, no, especially, yeah. I don't even want to be talking about this, but I think this will be the one time that I like talk about it, and then that'll be it. Just because, like, it's been a big thing, like, just throughout my family recently. But yeah, and I'm just like, and they're like, well, I know you don't wear masks, and I'm like, but on the same hand, I'm thinking, yes, I don't wear a mask, but you do all the time. And I do know you're vaccinated, but you also got it. Like, so I don't need to get tested. Like, if I get sick, I get sick. I know that I was sick in Thanksgiving, and I know what I had. I don't need a test to tell me. I don't need somebody to know. Or people to know what I had. Like, it doesn't matter. At this point in time, it does not matter. Do you know why it doesn't matter? Because there's no controlling it. There is no fucking controlling it. Like, what do y'all don't understand? Like, no matter how many times you get whatever you're gonna get, or if you have a mask or you don't have a mask, it's the flu now. It's the new flu. And that's it. There's no controlling it. So, good luck. Hope y'all survive. And that's all I'm going to say about that. Forrest Gump. Alright, so what do we got? I did black under eye. It still is. It still is. I know. I did black under the eye. Oh yeah. I know. So when I got sick, I was like, yeah, just give me an antibiotic. And the chick was like all in the fucking suit and stuff like that. And she was like, I think you should get tested. I'm like, nope. It's just a really bad sinus infection. Like, I just need, and that's pretty much what it was, you know? And she's like, you should get tested. That's a good one. I'm like, no. Wait, why? What? So you can have my number? Yellow fever already was taken. I like the Kung Flu though. That's a good one. That's a good one. Yellow fever, Dan. That one always makes me, I don't know. And you know, like when we were in school, like we learned about these things, and oh my God, I believe it. I believe it. See? Mm-hmm. I know. Because if you die, they're going to do the test, and then they're going to say complications because beer bug. No, I'm not gonna. Listen, and alright, honestly, if we're talking about this, I'll talk about it. I don't really talk about it on Twitter because I don't need a lot of people coming at me saying things and whatever. And if people want to like comment now, like you can comment, that's fine, because I'm gonna just, this'll, I guess at this point, this will be my talking about it. When things first started happening, was I afraid? No. And then after, they said people who have like autoimmune disorders and stuff like that, like I have MS and fibromyalgia, so of course I got scared. But then, because of the fact that, okay, let me put it this way. I've seen a lot of horror movies. I've watched a lot of dystopian movies. I've seen a lot of sci-fi movies. A lot of things that, like, normal people avoid. And at first, I was like, oh, damn. I was like, all right, here comes, like, Captain Trips. Like, here we go. Like, it's, and also, speaking of, like, my dad and watching war movies, I would have, like, nightmares as a kid that we were going to have, like, an apocalypse and shit, right? So, like, I would hear, like, air raid sirens in my dreams when I was, like, 10 years old. So, when this occurred, I was, like, and my dad always said, like, oh, you know, like, the end is coming, and this is gonna happen, like, kind of like doomsday prepper shit, you know, and ever since I was a kid, I was like, oh, fuck, man, like, this is the day I was prepared for. Now, I do have children, so that made me a little bit more afraid. If I was, you know, without children, I'd be like, alright, motherfuckers, like, bring it the fuck on, but I have children, like, do I want to see my children die in my arms? No. Do I want them to see me die first and then them die second? But starting to hear these things and stuff like that. And then at first I was like, oh, whatever. And then as it went on a little bit, I was like, oh, yeah. Super, super reassuring. He always kept it super real. Yeah, I could probably make an entire, like, people are always like, I should write a book about my life. And my mom was always like, I should write a book about my life. Bitch, I should write a book about my life. All right? Like, deal with you two fuckers. Me and my brother both. But yeah, so then after a couple weeks in, so the, like, real craziness started around my birthday, which is March 8th in 2020. 40th, woo! And then I went to Target with my friend, and I was like, you know, wipe down your cart like a psycho. And she was like, you know, and I'm like, good, bitch. Like, don't forget wipe down your cart. Fuck these fucking people. And then by the time, like, the beginning of April came, I was like, I don't like watching news stuff. And then I started hearing stuff, and I was like, oh, man. And I started getting scared. And I was like, maybe it might be real. Like, this shit might be, like, really fucking real, dude. Like, and then the lockdowns came, like, what, April 20th here in Pennsylvania. And I was like, well, that sucks. And then, like, I was like, I'll just, like, wipe down the door handles and wipe down the light switches and, like, faucets. Like, what else am I going to do? Like, we're not really going anywhere. Because me being in a salon, like, we were shut down. And, the kids were home from school. Yeah. But I didn't see people dropping like flies. Like, like I see these numbers, and I'm like, wait a minute, yo. Like, this isn't like The Stand. This isn't like you got people, like, just dying and dropping dead in the street. Like, pus coming out of their eyes, bleeding out of their mouth, bleeding out, like, their ears and shit, and, like, there's no dramatics. Like, what the fuck? What? Why? What is going on? So, so I was just like, yeah, okay. And then you hear about finding numbers and this and that, blah, blah, blah. And, you know, I do have a close family member in the hospital who was on a vent, yes. But who is also overweight, yes. And then you take into the consideration that, like, is anybody talking about the overweight population in the U.S. right now? No. That was a big thing, though, right before, you know, the virus started, talking about how people are overweight. And then look at, I mean, someone that I know had told me they work in a particular hospital, and all of their patients who are admitted who have the virus and are, like, not doing so well are vaccinated and also overweight. Like, what does that tell you? Like, you ate Doritos every fucking day, like a whole goddamn bag, like a giant bag of it. Didn't move around, didn't do nothing, watch TV, whatever. Everything's an experiment, dude. Like, if you don't realize that, we're all an experiment. Whether it's God's experiment or just, like, a planetary, like, alien experiment, we're all an experiment. We're all expendable. That's why I say just live your life. Do it. Oh, no. And that's absolutely true. For real. It's gone on long enough. Like, I love when people ask me a favorite movie, even just, like, being little or whatever. As far as little goes, when I I don't have a particular favorite, but we'll just go with the one that's been popping in my head the past couple days. When I was, what, 10? The Little Mermaid came out, and I freaking loved that movie. There you go. I'm like one of the only people who lost weight during the lockdown and all that stuff, and people were like, what did you do? I'm like, oh no, it was just my time to like become myself again, and then like that's what happened. But yeah, as far as the movie goes, I would say 10 years old, Little Mermaid came out, and I freaking loved that movie. The music was great. I love to swim. I'm a Pisces. So, yeah, it was a good one. God, see, and that's the thing was hard for me because we didn't have cable. We didn't have a VCR. God, what was I, like 11 by the time we had a VCR, and that was already the 90s. So, hello. So, yeah, I didn't have a, now my gram she had all the movies. So we got to watch the Disney movies and stuff, and then we used to, aw, cool. One of the things I love to tell people, though, as far as like movies go, or just like on, oh, okay, cool, thanks for stopping by always. One of the things I always tell people, I may have said it last time, I don't know, sometimes I might repeat myself. That's what life is about. One of the things that I did back in the day was my best friend's mom was always like, you guys can't watch Beavis and Butthead because like it's super bad. And I was like, okay, like we won't watch it. But what little did she know is that I watched people hook things up. So I was my own like AV tech at 11. So I knew how to program a VCR and also switch the cables with whatever cables were there. So you can watch one thing on one channel and then also record on another channel. So we would watch Nickelodeon, but also record Beavis and Butthead. And then when she went to bed, then we would play the tape of Beavis and Butthead. And she never knew. And she probably doesn't watch YouTube, but, you know. I think if I told her now, she'd probably laugh about it, but, yeah. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, oh, as soon as I saw, like, an NES being hooked up with, like the coaxial cables and the little spinny thing, I was like, oh, okay. So I would always watch when, like, people would hook things up, and I would always, knowing things. I always tell people, well, when I was 19, I worked in Sam's Club, and it was the first time that somebody ever called me that was my supervisor at the time, and he was like, oh, and it was like a morning meeting, because, like, I worked 5 in the morning until, like, 1:30 in the afternoon, which killed me, but on the same hand, he, like, was like, oh, you know, Nadine, blah, 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 and the jack of all trades. And since then, I was like, bitch, I fucking am a jack of all trades. Like, I will take it, because I can do a bunch of different things. And if I can't do it, like, I like learning about it. Like, I will ask you questions, but not like dumb questions that, like, because I just, like, am going to ask just to make you feel better. You know what I mean? Like, no. Like, if you're doing something, I will ask you, like, a question that will, like, get me to where I need to be. I've worked in many different fields and worked in internet type things and stuff like that. So, yeah. I worked for a cable company for a long time, and then I could definitely be a technician to, like, hook up DirecTV and, like, shit like that. Like, I hooked up everything in my fucking house. Like, besides the installers doing it, like, the internet, the TV, everything. I know how to do all that. Like, I love doing shit like that. Lately, though, have I been getting a little bit lazy about it? Because I'm tired. I'm just like, oh. So I've been kind of like, which is good. It's the passing of the torch. This is how it goes. My son, I'll just be like, hey, will you change that for me? Will you put that on for me? Stuff like that. Like, I know how to do it and I can, but on the same hand, I'm also teaching him because, I want him to know how to do it. My daughter has no interest. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. She does know how to do quite a few things. So I'm not going to be like, oh, she doesn't know how to do anything. No, she does. She does. And she has the capability to do so. But at the same time, she's just like, it's something that's disinteresting to her. So, like, she'll do what she can to get what she wants. And then she's like, okay, I'm done. And that's okay. That is okay. But yeah, my son, he's the one I'm like, buddy, you just, like, please do this for me. Which is, it's like the helpless mom. The helpless mom shtick. Like, oh, hon, I need you to help me. But, it works. And then that's training. But I also don't want him to have a woman who is completely helpless because, I'm not going to have him just completely catering to somebody. But, you can't help who you love, though. That's, I could say one thing, but there's another whole different thing going on there. I'm almost done, so that's good. I think I kind of hit on, like, a shit ton of points tonight. I even talked about coronavirus. What? It's true. It's super true. And you can't deny it. Once you deny it, you will search for it, and you will look for it, and you will try to find it for the rest of your life. And if you don't find it, then you're going to die wanting. And if you do find it, and you completely deny it, then you're going to die sad. But also, like, you know what the worst thing is like, when the heart wants what the heart wants, but, like, both people aren't on the same page. It's, like, the saddest fucking thing that there ever could be in the entire world. I don't know where my eye drops are. I'm not going to find them now while I'm on. But I think I did good. I think we just got, like, a smoky eye look going on. I tried to keep the eye shape a little more round, a little different. I think we talked about a lot of interesting things. So, aw, cool. I'm so glad. Yay. I liked, I didn't do my lips. I'm like, yeah, we're done. I'm just going to do, What is this? Androgyny. I like the Jeffree Star one. I was thinking Christmas cookie. I don't want to do shimmer. There's another one I'm thinking of. I'm like, I'm all done, but I'm not. You're not done, bitch. You didn't do your lips. I'll do the Jeffree Star Androgyny. So let me do these and then we'll be done. I like this color. It's like a mauve, a little darker. Thank you. I try, dude. Like, well, alright. I say I try, I'm just being myself. I'm not mad if anybody else wants to come in and, like, say something, you know? Like, I welcome anybody's thoughts on things. If you, like, don't agree with what I'm saying, or if it's something that's, like, you know, whatever. If you want to talk about it personally, I know it's hard because we're not, like, talking to each other face to face, but, you know. I like to talk about random shit all the time, and then if I have a couple drinks, I talk a little more openly. So it's okay, and it's just us, you know. It's just like people just hanging out, and I'm just like hanging out doing my makeup. I think that was a great choice in the lip color. Okay, done. All right. Yeah. So I'm glad for you guys hanging out all the time. I'm glad for the chats. I'm glad that you just like to just hang out, like, and just talk. It's mostly just talking, you know. And then I'm just, because I need to keep busy while I'm doing these. So it's like you know how, like, moms like to, like, clean but also talk to you at the same time. It's like me doing my makeup but then also talking to you at the same time. So have a great night. I am glad to be back tonight, and yeah, absolutely, completely, I agree. I like it. I like BSing with people and all kinds of people. So you're welcome, and thank you for coming. I appreciate it so much. I appreciate all you guys for showing up and talking about, like, random stuff. So, all right, I'm going to say goodnight, and thank you again. I super appreciate it. I'm sorry it cut off, but I'm glad for everybody who came back. So, enjoy your night, and I will see you soon. Oh, yes, absolutely. And if you didn't message me so then I can send you other stuff. You too. Good night.